So I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like I say this every single time I get up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if we look at the facts, we look at the history, we already know what happens if we go down this path. And like I said, people can sit here and act like it's not happening if they want to, or it doesn't matter. Because like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, it does matter. Because this is gonna change the way of life, how we do things here in America. You see what I'm saying? And I always say this: I don't believe Islam is the black man's religion. It can't be. It can't be. It's not. It's not. You feel me? It's not the black man's religion. The black man is not familiar with Islam. It's not. It's not. You feel me? It's not compatible with my people. I know that for a fact. It's not. Because see, in this will already contradict what black people say when they say, because look, we like to talk about slavery and everything else, right? So if that's the case, my people should know that Islam promotes the idea of slavery. And so if my people go with that type of thinking, then that means everything else is fake. That means my people didn't care about freedom. They didn't care. That means my people would have had lied about the whole thing about freedom. There's no way you're a black man and you like your freedom, and then you're under Islam, or you feel me? Not saying you can't practice whatever, but I'm showing y'all the light. I'm trying to show y'all what really matters. Cause like I said, there's a lot of things in the Quran that you're not allowed to do. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things in the Quran that you're prohibited to do. You're not allowed to do a whole bunch of shit in Islam. You see what I'm saying? So even when it comes to listening to music, niggas can't listen to music. I don't care what somebody wants to say. The Quran says not to listen to music. You're not supposed to be listening to it. I saw this one video where it was a group of these Arabs, they were Arab people. They came to Africa, bro, and they had all their their instruments, right? They gathered all the instruments into one spot. Guess what they did next? They took all the instruments, they put it all together, they grabbed an axe, and they just started breaking it. They started breaking it. And think about it, and that's their drums and everything else that they use to make the beats and all that. You see what I'm saying? They came from where they came from all the way down to Africa to try to make them conform to their book, their way of living. And then on top of that, they're gonna destroy their property. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, what type of mentality is that? That's like me going into your home. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I saw a painting on the wall I didn't like, so I'm gonna just take it down and break it. Like, what type of mentality is that, yo? You see what I'm saying? And like I said, they could believe that music is not good, fine, but that's to them. You don't get to push down everybody else. You don't get to tell people what they can't listen to. You can't tell, bro. I wish somebody would come and tell me what I can and cannot do. I'm not hurting nobody. If I'm not doing anything to anybody, I dare somebody to come and tell me what I can't do, nigga. I want somebody to tell me what I can't wear or go ahead, nigga. Go ahead and say it so I can slap you in your fucking mouth, nigga. I'm telling you, that's what these people need. Some of these dudes just need to get punched in their fucking mouth because they have no regard for nobody else. You see what I'm saying? All they care about is their book. They don't care about other people. All they want to do is force people into their same group of thinking. And I tell my people this all the time. If we go down that path, that means everything else was a lie. That means the black man being free was a lie. The black man didn't want to be free. If the black man chooses to go with Islam, that means my people would have had lied about freedom. You see what I'm saying? My people didn't. That means my people wouldn't want freedom. That's what it means. You see what I'm saying? Trust me, y'all. I'm not sitting here talking out my freaking behind, bro. I'm telling y'all everything that's happening, bro. You see what I'm saying? This shit's happening in other countries, and like I said, it's been happening for centuries. Islam had to work. It works through conquest. It works by taking over. It works by conquering by the sword. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that's no different from imperialism, if you want to so call it. You know what I mean? 'Cause I know the word imperialism gets thrown around everywhere. So yeah, Islam is imperialism, if y'all really want to go there with me. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's no country on the map that hasn't done something to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has bloodshed on their hand. America is not perfect. It never will be. But no other country is perfect. And it never will be. So I don't know why people sit here and try to blame America and say, oh yeah, this, that, the third. Yeah, for sure. But see, if it wasn't America, it would have been somebody else. So would it have mattered? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, history is history. We can't go back and rewrite that. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying, if it wasn't America, it would have been somebody else, and then it would have been worse. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I don't see any other way mankind would have gotten it right. You know what I'm saying? And plus, like I said, it's not like, you know, we have people. I mean, like I said, bro, you know what I'm saying? We can't rewrite history. You know what I'm saying? All that shit is there. We have to look at what's already presented in our field right now. Like I said, yo, if my people don't wake up, no, we screwed, yo. I'm telling y'all. And like I said, bro, I'm doing this because, like I said, for one, I care, yo. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be talking like this. You know what I'm saying? We can't help each other if we're over here fighting about bullshit, bro. This shit this, like I'm gonna tell y'all, racism and all this other stuff. All this stuff is just distractions to make us derail what's actually important. See what the enemies want us to do. They want us to fight each other. You see what I'm saying? They want us to do these things to each other. It's all just the illusion. It's all distraction. Remember what I told y'all, and even in my other video, bro. What did I say? Cause look. If we're not forgiving, then what are we doing? We're still holding on to something. And this is something Christians should know best. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, even in the Bible, what does it tell us to do? It tells us to love our enemies, even those that hate us. You see what I'm saying? And trust me, I see there's a lot of people out there in the world that hate us. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, it's a whole lot of different reasons, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean we lower ourselves and we go down onto their level and play their game. You know what I'm saying? Because if you play their game, then we lose. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not following what the book already taught us to do. You know what I'm saying? So, like I'm saying, bro, we as people have to get ourselves right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to figure out what we want, you know what I mean? And this is why I keep saying, I'm talking to Black America, because like I said, I have to get my people's attention first. Before I'm able to talk to everybody else, like I said, it's no issue if you want to listen, but I have to get my people's attention firstly. If I don't get my people's attention, then my people are going to fall inside the trap, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I want to show people another way out, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to go down this path, you know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, I got y'all's back, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, when it comes to world events and what's happening, bro, yo, like I said, bro, so the world needs somebody that could be paying attention to the unknown shit that nobody's probably paying attention to. And this is why I say right now, right? Like my type of movement, the way I do things, it's kind of like, you know, if something happens on a national scale, I would have already known about it. I would have seen it, because I would have been like, yeah, like for sure, like I already knew this shit was gonna happen. So I'm not surprised if this shit happens. You see what I'm saying? Always being like mentally prepared. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's like, yo, there's people out there. Y'all would be surprised what type of people out here don't pay attention to the world events. You know what I'm saying? And then they only pay attention when the bad shit comes on the TV. You see what I'm saying? That's the government programming. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like I said, remember what I told y'all? If we're always putting our trust in the government, not saying we're not. What did I tell y'all before about putting our trust in government? We shouldn't be putting our trust in government at all, not even the American system. No man around the world, no people should be putting their trust into the government. Now, let me say this right now. I'm not saying people can't trust their system. We all have a system dedicated to the country. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying overall, mankind should not put its trust into government. You should not put your hopes in the government. Because so many things could go wrong that way. And like I said, and that's just another way to get to mind control people if people aren't paying attention. You see what I'm saying? This is why I always say people have to be critical thinkers, because if people aren't being critical thinkers, then you're just going to follow what somebody else tells you to do, and then you're not going to be sure about it. This is how the whole programming works. You know what I mean? The government says to do something, you're going to do it. And that's just, like I said, that's either for the better or for the worse. People have to know what the fuck is going on. Jaden knows what the fuck is going on. That's why I'm able to talk to y'all the way I'm able to talk to y'all. Because like I said, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna expose it for what it is. And like I said, if you hate me, you hate me. If you love me, you love me. You know what I'm saying? Just know Jaden is standing on the right side of history. You know what I'm saying? Where all people could live, all people could choose what they want to do. Mankind could choose what they want to do. Here in America, we could do whatever the fuck we want to do. No other country, no other person, no religion is gonna dominate a people and be like, yeah, we have to do things this way, or we have to do it that way, or this. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm telling y'all got the best person on your team, bro. You know what I'm saying? To be able to interpret all this shit that's fucking happening, that's gonna be happening. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's gonna take a real revolutionary, you know what I'm saying, to fuck up the game, to fuck up the whole world. Cause like I said, it's gonna take a revolution for sure. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, when it comes to a caliphate and all this other bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that in the grand scheme, that's a Muslim's wet dream to try to conquer the world. But at the same time, it's a false dream. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, it's a dream. It's a dream for sure. This is why I always say visions. You know what I'm saying? Mankind has dreams. Mankind has visions. A caliphate is a real possibility. You know what I'm saying? That's a Muslim's dream that can come true. But at the same time, let's not forget this very one thing. Just like how there are people that are dedicated to the Muslim faith, there are people that are dedicated to their own faith, and they're not changing anything. They're not changing that for you. You see what I'm saying? Even me as a Christian, I talk to y'all in such a way where it's like, yo, don't just take everything that I'm saying. Look it up and see it for yourself, so that y'all know that I'm not just, you know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, I don't gotta lie about this shit, you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta do none of that, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all what it is. You know, y'all could do the research. If y'all don't want to, then whatever, you know what I'm saying? Take it for what I'm saying. But like I said, I don't have to sit here and lie. I'm not gonna lie to my people. First off, I'm not gonna lie to my people. I don't have to. I don't have no type of hidden agendas or nothing like that towards my people. I don't have no agendas towards anybody, you know what I'm saying? And if anybody ever said that, they're wrong. Cause like I said, I'm not saying everybody doesn't have their own agenda, but is your agenda gonna fuck up everybody else's life? It's gonna hurt more people. What is it gonna do? What is your agenda gonna do, bro? You know what I'm saying? Is your agenda gonna make people starve? think about that. I'm asking real serious questions, real serious things. People have to really figure this shit out. You know what I mean? My agenda ain't nowhere towards that. My agenda is looking to build and to make infrastructure, to make more things for people, make more homes. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you saw what they had with Epic City? That's the Muslims community, the Epic City, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not like I said, I don't see that as a bad thing. I could understand why somebody might say, no, we don't want this in our community. Look, Americans, this is what I'm saying. I'm understanding what you're saying. I hear the voices, I hear the questions, I hear it all. You see what I'm saying? I could understand why people will be afraid of the idea of a Muslim whatever, or a Muslim epic city, or whatever. But like I said, in the grand scheme, it doesn't take a lot for a man to be like, okay, you know, for the most part, people want to be civilized people, for the most part. Civilized means you want to live your life, conduct business, and obviously do things that don't interfere with other people, you know what I'm saying, unless you know what I'm saying, it's required. But for the most part, it's not like that, you know what I'm saying? People want to live their life, people want to chill out, people want to relax, people want to smoke their blunt, you know what I'm saying? People want to go to the beach, people want to eat whatever the fuck they want to eat, people going out to movies, dates, all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody wants their alcohol, somebody wants whatever the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of options out here in the world that you could choose. You know? Now, whether a man chooses to indulge in that, that's up to him. You know what I'm saying? A man has to decide that shit. He has to decide, you know what I'm saying, what he wants for his life. Another man can't come up behind another man and say, yo, you can't do this. That's not how life works. You see what I'm saying? Obviously, it's all different. All countries have different laws. You see what I'm saying? Look, remember what I told y'all? Why is it that people from other countries get to come to our country, do everything that they normally wouldn't be able to do if they were in their country? They will come to our country, right? And then they're gonna bring everything else over, and then try to establish a what? Establish a what? You want to bring the same mess that your family escaped, and then you want to bring it over here, and then you expect everybody else to adapt to your book or your way of living because of what? No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that here, bro. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, there was even one video, right? It was one video I saw where it was a Muslim man. He was practicing Ramadan, and the lady on the bus was eating her food. This is the public bus. This is in the United Kingdom as well. She was eating her food. The dude asked the woman politely. He said, "Man, can you cover your food and put your food away?" The woman responded, and she was a black woman too. The black woman responded as the black woman should. She said, "If you don't like it, get off the bus." She said, "I'm not required to do what you want me to do because you're having your whatever." And that's 100%, like I said, and you know, like I said before, you're in a country where you have to be with everybody else. You don't get a special privilege. You see what I'm saying? It was always kind of funny to me how like even in school, when I was growing up in school, right? They always had the Ramadan and stuff in school. And I'm not saying that there was an issue. You know what I'm saying? I remember that shit clear as day. You know what I'm saying? Ramadan is a national thing. You know what I'm saying? All around the world. You know what I'm saying? All Muslims practice it. You know what I'm saying? But they never had anything for the Christians. They never had anything for Christians. Christians never had their day, probably because it's not really needed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not needed. But it would shed some light on the world to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, people, hey, look, we over here. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if a man chooses to leave Islam, he could do that. No Muslim is gonna come behind another person and tell him what he can or cannot do. And let me go ahead and say this right now. You know, for those who don't know, trying to convert people over, there's this thing saying that if you try to convert Muslims to something else, you're basically an enemy. And the way I see that, I don't care, in my opinion. I really don't even give a shit. Cause like I said, see, if a Muslim has to go to somebody else to ask somebody else the question and not your own people, you know you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You know you fucked up. Cause think about it. Like I said before, right, with the imams. Bro, I'm hearing, and this is what they say, okay? The Muslim imam said, a Muslim cannot and should not go to a unbeliever or a Christian or a Jew for consolidation. Or basically, they can't. So basically, if you're a Muslim, you can't come to other human beings for help. You can only go to the Muslims for help. You can't go to a doctor. You can't go to anybody for help because remember, the Muslim said you can't do it. So you can't interact with other human beings. Remember what I told y'all about the whole thing about religion? You take religion, you put that aside. When you're first born, what are you? You're a human being. A man wouldn't know Islam if Islam wasn't presented to their life. You see what I'm saying? How would a man have known, you know what I'm saying, what that was unless it was presented? How would a man know what Christ or Christianity was if it wasn't presented to the man? You know what I'm saying? How would a man know good from evil, you know what I'm saying, unless both of them were separated? You see what I'm saying? This is why I be saying people have to go through a certain level of programming, a condition, you know what I'm saying? We have to learn something. Yo, there's certain ways we conduct ourselves in civilization, you know what I'm saying? Just because one person doesn't want to act right and do how you know what I'm saying, do it the way everybody else sees it, doesn't mean, you know, everything just stops. You know what I'm saying? That's not how life works. That's not how life is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is different. Bro, I always use this thing called the aesthetic. America has its own aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? You as a person, you have your own aesthetic. Your likes, your dislikes. You see what I'm saying? Jaden has his own aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? This is how it is. Every country has its own aesthetic. Saudi Arabia, you know what I'm saying? United Kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Germany, Greece, my fault. Y'all know what I meant when I said that. Africa has its own aesthetic. You see what I'm saying? Every country has its own aesthetic. And what Islam is trying to do, it wants to take Islam and slap Islam all over the whole freaking thing. Like, no, we're not doing that, bro. Remember what I told y'all? Imagine trying to take our aesthetic and our way of life over there to their country. They wouldn't like that. You feel me? They would hate us. They would kill us 100% for trying to do that shit. If we brought music into their country, if we brought our way of living, our American ways to their country, what would happen? They would kill us in an instant, nigga. They wouldn't even think twice about that shit, bro. They would kill us in a heartbeat. But why do they think it's okay to come over here and do it to us and then try to destroy everything that we got? That's a cow. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's why it's called the conquest, because it's literally just that. Any sensible person understands what I'm saying, bro. And trust me, it's not just me saying it. The Muslims themselves will say this. So I don't have to sit here and play a game with nobody. I don't gotta play a game with nobody. I told y'all from the very start how this shit fucking work. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. So yeah, and like I said, I'm talking to y'all like this because, like I said, the world needs somebody that can speak that real shit. And like I said, I'm a leader of my community, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm a black man. I'm a black man in America. You know what I'm saying? How better can that get? You got a black man representing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, not and this black man represents for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I represent all people, all colors, nationalities, creed. Doesn't matter what. I don't give a fuck if you a dog or a cat. You know what I'm saying? You live in America, you got freedom. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever the fuck you want to do. This is my state of mind. This is Jaden's state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a freedom fighter to the death, and I ain't switching because somebody else tell me to do that shit. If the government told y'all to do it, y'all would do it, and y'all wouldn't even think about the reason why. Y'all would just do it. If it's suspicious, then people should be asking questions. But you don't just do things because the government says to do it. You don't just do things because somebody says to do it. You know what I'm saying? You need to ask questions first. People have to ask questions. And then that person could talk and give everything else as needed. You know what I'm saying? The answers as needed. Whatever questions being asked. Whatever it may be. I don't know. There's so many questions out here in the world. You know what I'm saying? Jaden can't say all of it. Like I said every time, I'm a student of life. And my only job as a student of life is to observe and make sure, you know what I'm saying, write down things that I see that are wrong. You know what I'm saying? And remember what I told y'all? To help the human cause, yo, to help the betterment, to be something positive to the human cause. I'm being positive to the human cause. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm up here talking to y'all like this because, like I said, for one, I care, so that's positive. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be up here talking to y'all like this. You know what I'm saying? Or I mean, yeah, you know, like I said, maybe it's both. Negative and positive. You know, everything has its pros and cons. But I guess if I didn't tell you, if I wasn't talking to y'all wouldn't know the information as much. But then it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because down the line I still would have had said all the information anyway. All this stuff would have had came out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like I said, there's a white person right now speaking the same way I'm speaking. Except he's white, I'm black, and I'm saying it. Ain't that some crazy shit? I'm a black man telling y'all this, so y'all know it's real. You see what I'm saying? And this black man don't gotta lie. I don't have to lie about what's happening in my country and what I see happening. Y'all heard about the Muslim Brotherhood and what they want to do. Y'all already heard what they said, what they want to do. They said they want to come and do what? They want to make a caliphate all over the world. They want to destroy America. They want to destroy our country, my country, the land of the freedom. The same place where Martin Luther King was, Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? Abraham Lincoln, all the other motherfuckers on the world stage. They want to come to the land of the free and make it not the land of the free because they want to impose Sharia law or you know what I'm saying? They want to impose Sharia law ways. The Sharia law ways, you know what I'm saying? The Sharia way of living. That's what they want to do. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, and like I said, in the grand scheme, it's not going to be a good thing because the Muslims, they could sit up here and raise their voice and talk with this high rise and everything else, but it's going to end in destruction for them. It's going to end in ultimate destruction for them. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, then if the Muslim Brotherhood, this is why I be saying, yo, y'all already know this shit. You see what I'm saying? When niggas think or hear jihad or Allah Akbar, what do niggas think of? A nigga got a bomb. Obviously, we know what it means. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, it doesn't mean a bad. It doesn't always mean bad. You know what I'm saying? Allah Akbar isn't a bad thing to say. It means overall, it means God. You know what I'm saying? It means God. You know what I'm saying? But we know the negative meaning of it. You know what I'm saying? And usually that means somebody sacrificing their life, you know what I'm saying, for a cause or the religion. And I'm gonna be honest, yo, like I said, 72 virgins and all that other stuff, I don't think it's true, bro. That shit is not true. It can't be real, bro. You telling me 72 virgins, nigga? So if I was a Muslim, you know what I'm saying, and I died for the pursuit of Islam, I would die and get 72 virgins. So how about the one wife? Does the one wife mean anything? You know what I'm saying? I'm asking serious questions now. Does having one wife mean anything? To me, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I think one wife is enough for a man. I really do. I don't think a man needs 2-3 wives. If a man wants that, he could obviously, a man can have that. If a man wants 2 wives, 3 wives, he can have that. But overall, I think there's one for one. You know what I'm saying? One man, one woman. You know what I'm saying? You don't need it. You know, like I said, bro, you know, it all depends on the person's mind state and what that person wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, 72 virgins is crazy work. At the end of the day, like I said, so I don't need 72 virgins. I don't need that. I'm cool. All I need is one girl. What do I need 72 for? Oh, Jaden, it's just an option. Well, I'm cool. I just want one girl. You know what I'm saying? And plus, like I said, you know, like I said, to me that's crazy. Cause what that means all of you people that are watching, the viewers, that means your mama is gonna be a potential prostitute for another man in the afterlife. She won't have anything else. She won't be able to do anything else. You as the woman, you're gonna be a sexual object for the man for the rest of your eternal life. You know what I'm saying? You're not even a human being. You're not a person. You're not a person at all. You're just a sex object. 72 virgins, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if a man believes that, then that's his belief. But at the same time, that's not what I believe in. Don't get mad because I said I don't want to believe in that. Because if you get mad, then that means I'm gonna have the issue. You feel me? That means I'm gonna have to have an issue with you, because then you're going against what I believe in. And then my belief is gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go to war with niggas, because then it's gonna be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Now this is a war on belief. Let me tell y'all, bro, World War III, war on religion is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing it happen right now as we're speaking. World War III is literally just that. We've heard it a lot. You know what I'm saying? But it's true. Just look. I don't have to lie about this shit. You see what I'm saying? The Muslims already say they say not to talk to they say, my fault, yo. I got this wisdom tooth from the back is fucking up when I talk and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? My apologies for that shit. But yo, the information is already out here, bro. And like I said, a nigga like Jaden, I don't gotta lie about this shit, yo. Cause I said, bro, there's nothing positive out of fucking lying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, the United States of America, was built on Christian values. It doesn't take a fucking genius to know this. Look at the shit that we're doing now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. There's no interference. A man can't tell me America wasn't built on Christian values or something in between the lines of. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I say this, like I said, bro. Look at Israel, a democratic society. You know what I'm saying? It allows freedom to people. Israel is a country where all people of all nationalities, colors, and creeds go over there to visit, live peaceful lives. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say the news and the media, man, they a whole bunch of cocksuckers and cock blowers, because they're not really exposing, they're not really saying it like it needs to be said. They half-assed in it, you know what I'm saying? And they're not giving the people what they actually need to hear. If I went to Israel right now, nobody would discriminate me, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't talk shit. There's a black man in Israel right now. Well, he got dreads just like you. He got afro just like me. You see what I'm saying? He got skin complexion just like me, and he's a black man, and he was born in Israel. You see what I'm saying? But then see the enemies of the state of Israel, they're gonna say, they're usually when we think of what, when we hear Israel, we think of white people. That's not always the case. You see what I'm saying? There's different colors of people all around the world. Let's not get it mixed up, bro. Let's not get it mixed up. Let's not act like, you know what I'm saying, humans of all colors don't exist all around the world. I don't care if it's in fucking China, Japan, North Korea somewhere, bro. I don't think there's any black people in North Korea. There might be some, but I don't think there is. You know what I'm saying, for the most part. Cause y'all see them videos when the black man goes to China or the black woman goes to China, and then you see the Chinese people looking at the black people. They're astounded. They are astonished by our physique, how we look. You know what I'm saying? We are a beautiful people. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna be able to find the black skin melanin man anywhere else. You're not gonna find that nowhere else. You see what I'm saying? We're one of a kind people. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. They see our hair. They see our nose, they see the lips, they see the eyes, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, you know what I'm saying? They see the black man, they see the black women. And they are, you know what I'm saying? They love it. They love to see us. You see what I'm saying? They might be curious. That's just how it is. You gotta let them be curious about the features, you know what I'm saying? For sure. Ain't nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. People are curious, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, and as long, I feel like when you're curious, you don't really know better. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to learn. So that's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? The Asian people over there, they just trying to learn. They want to know, yo, we see a black man, he got this hair, he looks different from everybody else. Yeah, for sure. See what I'm saying? Trust me, there's some Asian chicks out there that love black dudes, you know what I'm saying? They curious about it, you know what I'm saying? Yo, you know, Miss Asia, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm telling y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? She out there. You know what I'm saying? So for all my people out there, you know what I'm saying, my black people that like, you know what I'm saying, that like a little Asian style, you know what I'm saying, you know where to go and find them at, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta, just like anything, you go out, you explore, you talk to some women, you talk to a girl, you know what I'm saying? If you like it, you like it, you don't, you know, whatever. You know, Jaden don't discriminate, you know what I'm saying? I take, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I'm a man of all things, you know what I'm saying? I like all, you know what I'm saying? So my flavor of women, you know what I'm saying, is not like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Whether she got a fatty or, you know what I'm saying, or she's skinny, it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? All women deserve love at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Because there's only one. There's only one of each person on the world block, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't discriminate at all. I don't care if she's a Muslim. I don't care if she's Hindu, Christian, you know what I'm saying? I don't care, bro. If she's a human being, then, you know what I'm saying, she's able to be she's compatible, you know what I mean? You know, if she's not a woman, then she's not compatible. She has to be a woman to be compatible, you know what I mean? Look, we already know from history, a man and a man does not work. You know what I'm saying? A woman and a woman does not work. You know what I mean? That to me is just sexual fantasy, because it's like, yo, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not telling people what they can't do. I'm not telling people they can't marry with the same whatever. If people want to do that, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? As long as it doesn't hurt other people, I'm smooth. That's all I care about. Don't get anybody hurt in the process trying to do whatever you're trying to do. That's all I care about. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Jaden ain't being fucking hard to deal with. I'm not hard to deal with. I speak the common sense. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, the common sense, something that a lot of the world doesn't have now. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like, or maybe the world does have common sense. It's just not using the common sense, because I mean, it needs somebody like me to talk that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk that shit. But yo, like I said, I'm not an enemy to nobody. So nobody can say you know, they're my enemy or I'm your enemy. I'm not nobody's enemy. You know what I mean? But if you try to go against the grain, then it's gonna have to be that. You know what I'm saying? And not because I wanted it to, but because you would have had initiated something that, you know what I'm saying, would have had to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm being so serious, yo, bro. It's the same. I see it the same way. You know, we already had one revolution in America. We can have another.